With Carve, we help facilitators focus on making it easy to identify high-risk areas, but recognizing that risk needs to be considered in the context of your organizational benchmarks and industry benchmarks. On the executive summary page for the Kelowna Upgrader project, the narrative summary prepared by the facilitator is the first thing we see. If it's an in-depth summary, one click of the Read All button gives the entire executive summary for the user. An important challenge faced by facilitators is helping an executive new to PDRI quickly put the results of their assessment into context. One of the best ways to accomplish that is through comparison to both portfolio and industry benchmarks. In our project, we can see the PDRI results were a score of 257. Using our summary chart, we quickly see that this score is above the portfolio average, which is reason for concern. We also see that it's outside of the normal score recommended by CII for industrial projects at the same stage. Our narrative summary indicates that the project team has decided to hold off on their stage gate review. But why? And where does the most amount of risk reside? Right from the executive summary page, a visual representation of risk in each section helps communicate where the greatest amount of undefined scope resides. We can quickly see that the basis of design represents 130 of the 257 total points. At a section level, we can easily relate this project to portfolio benchmarks for projects that have gone before us. For Section 1, Basis of Project Decision, we see that the Kelowna Upgrader project is scoring poorly compared to portfolio averages. We can also see that this section represents a large amount of scope to define, 499 points in total, and significant progress has been made. Nevertheless, the section is still scoring high compared to portfolio averages. In Section 2, Basis of Design, a quick review shows a substantial amount of risk. Our project is scoring almost 50% above the portfolio average. Looking at the score range, we see this section is also a significant amount of work, but it represents a substantial amount of risk to the project at completion of detailed scope stage for front-end planning. Let's drill down in the basis of design to better understand where the undefined scope resides. The category page uses the same visual indicators to help stakeholders quickly identify those categories that represent the most amount of risk using the score displayed along the top. Here, site information and process and mechanical represent the most amount of risk within the basis of design. We can also easily identify the categories with the most amount of undefined scope. The larger the gray area within the box, the greater the amount of undefined scope within that category. Here, equipment scope and civil and structural have the most amount of undefined scope within their category. Clicking on any of these boxes, like the equipment scope, allows us to put those findings of the assessment into context, just like we did within the sections. Here, we see that the project is trending way above the portfolio average for definition of equipment scope. Clicking on the project bar allows us to drill down and see the exact scores and the comments that came for each element that was within the PDRI session. Executives can drill down as deep as required to get answers to all of their questions on PDRI assessments.